My name's Colin Bussey. I went to the Westwood College. I graduated in December. And
Okay. And so, how did you find yourself in, gravitating towards technical art?
Gravitating towards technical art, I've always been sort of the person at school who would learn the program a lot more than other people would, and I would be the helper. Basically, people, something would go wrong, and they would go to the teachers, and they would go to me immediately afterwards. And it even got to the point where some of the teachers were going to me just because I had experience with the program. And when I started thinking about this a bit more, and my first GDC, I talked to a few people about it, and they said, you are a tech artist, more or less. And everything, lights just sort of went off, and I started really looking into it. What exactly do tech art, what do these people do? And yeah, from there it just sort of progressed.
Okay. Do you have an example from one of your projects, how being a tech artist helped the project get out the door?
Yeah, I do. There was a project that I was working on that was our senior game project, essentially. It was the first real team major project that we had. And all throughout the team, we had people that knew how to model, people that knew how to texture, people that knew how to animate, but we had nobody who knew how to deal with the engine because we had no programmers. And we had nobody who knew how to rig. We had nobody who knew how to, in everything with the engine, we didn't know how to do. And so there was me and one other person that took it upon ourselves to get down and dirty with UDK and get into it and make it do what we want it to do. And that was, for him it was sort of an introduction to coding for a little bit. For me it was an introduction to shaders and and pipeline, serious pipeline, because nobody had really dealt with it before.
So, what elements of sort of traditional CS, math, art were you tapping into there? Like, so for
Okay.
shader programming, was there additional math you had to teach yourself, or?
Honestly, we kept it pretty basic because it was with UDK. We were able to do it with just a node-based editor, which is easier to deal with. But as far as my background is concerned, I got my start in web design. So I've mucked around in code before, and it's one of those things where I still don't like doing, but I can do it. And so I still haven't really had to pull on much of a math background yet, but it'll probably come. So.
Okay. So, what's the most important thing for educators to know about where tech art falls in terms of the way programs are traditionally established?
I don't know. I think one of the most important things that, as far as tech art is concerned, is that it is a real position that studios need. A lot of studios don't realize that they need us, but it's one of those things where in the talk recently, Jeff mentioned, or somebody mentioned, one guy that does a dozen different things that nobody really knows what he does, but if he disappeared off the face of the earth, the studio would collapse. So it's one of those things where we have a role, and everything in the world isn't just modeling and animation. So.
Yeah. And it's also not all just programming.
Yeah, it's not just
programming engines or programming tools. Even it's Okay. Is there anything else you want to say about just tech art in general, or
as far as
or
tech
programs?
art, not really. Just basically, tech art provides a unique role in that they are the bridge that can talk to artists, can talk to coders, and we're trying to get rid of that divide because it is like the art code divide. I remember in school we didn't really work with our code teams. We were isolated from each other, and it was bad. We couldn't do anything because the artists, like I said, I was in a game design project that was all artists, and we had two artists that had to figure out the engine. That would have gone much smoother if we actually had communication with code side, if we were able to work with them more. And yeah, I have a feeling that there would be more tech artists if code and art mingled a lot more.
Okay.
So.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.